let's pull down the pants. What genitals do you have? You go to the Shiva side, you go to the Shakti side. Done with things. Yeah, it's definitely cannot be put like that. Much more so, the human being is a being of many, many layers.
There is this calculative masculine trait which will say, like a business, I will pay the least and get the most. Calculate. Calculate. Okay, I prepare dinner for us, and here's your favorite movie, and I wrote some poem, and I actually showered, or I don't know what. I invested. Yeah, look at me. I invested, and I got. Okay, next time we try without the dinner. Okay, I still get it. No dinner. Forget about dinner. And next time, no shower. Okay, also works. So there is this tendency to give a minimum investment and maximum, which it sees, you see, it sees the relationship as two separate beings negotiating. When you go to the shop, you give the money, you get the product. Go to a restaurant, you give the money, you get the product. Done. And men tend to think more than women because we are very blind of togetherness. We don't get it as much as women, generally. Some exceptional men are very good in it. But mostly guys have this. We see ourselves as separate beings. Maybe when we make love, maybe when we kiss, maybe when we dance, we are somehow merged in a togetherness. But we are separate beings. Even if we have the same bank account and even if we are married, there is still this feeling of separation. And this is somehow the fundamental misunderstanding. And this is the fundamental misunderstanding why guys are not so good with Eros and not so good with relationship generally. And the going like this in relationships will always have a pretty nasty result, or at least some nasty wounds going all over the place, because relationship is not supposed to be a relationship of two different beings. It's supposed to create a heartful togetherness in which you literally don't calculate. It's just, this is me, this is my other me. We are together in this, and we are together forever in all aspects and everything. We are just together, together, together. And we think as togetherness. And from that place, you maintain the erotic vibe very easily. You don't fall down if you have that state of togetherness. Also in the lovemaking. This is how you become a perfect masculine lover. You stay always in the state of togetherness. You never calculate. All these great lovers, all the stories of the great lovers, this was their fundamental attitude. You keep the state of togetherness and you forget yourself in that togetherness. Real togetherness, and then you don't get lazy in what you invest. You invest what is needed because we are together. Like, I give this example often, like the cells of our body. They are not like, okay, I deliver this one last oxygen round and then I'm going to rest for a few hours. Let the other ones work. No, constantly your heart has been beating and these little cells there, red blood cells, 24/7 for the rest of your life, doesn't need a rest. Because their cells are united with the body. So you can unite with another being. Your body is made of unity, and you yourself, also a man, can enter this state of unity. And then this eliminates the laziness. There is just a constant willing for intimacy, and then the relationship and Eros can really give their gift.
Now again, depending on the man and depending on the specific awakening inside, like one of you pointed out before, we are very complex human beings. Not every man will feel the calculative nature as strongly as Uriel described it. Other men will have more instinctual reasons to become lazy. Also women become lazy because also we have a certain tendency inside that do these specific things. What is considered in Tantra one of the big difficulties in the masculine nature, and yeah, that sort of is, let's say, for many men something that rises in their psyche quite unconsciously, is a general state of fear in front of Shakti, in front of life. May that be a fear of, like Uriel described, more of a calculative nature. Well, I invested something, now I want to get something out of it. May that be a fear that is much more hedonic, much more ingrained into your, into your cells, into your more subconscious patterns. May that be a fear of being left and abandoned. May that be a fear of being eaten alive by the great feminine and spit out and annihilated and I don't know what. But fear is very often a factor within this laziness, as we called it here. This laziness as in taking a step back, as in not remaining fully engaged, not remaining awake, not remaining present. It very often has something to do with fear of one sort or another. So you can also look into your being and analyze what is your fear in front of life, what is your fear in front of that which is, pulsing and transforming and ever-changing within this world, which we do call the feminine, but you could call it simply life. It cannot be at all distinct just like that. Okay, feminine, everything feminine happens within the girl, everything masculine happens within the guy, and done with it. Let's pull down the pants. What genitals do you have? You go to the Shiva side, you go to the Shakti side, done with things. Yeah, it definitely cannot be put like that. Much more so, the human being, as we will actually learn in depth in the Tantra course, is a being of many, many layers. So as we have, for example, the 7 chakras, many of you know this already, we have 5 bodies, the physical, the subtle bodies, and so forth. And each of them carry within them aspects of yin and yang, aspects of masculine and feminine. And in the end of the journey, we would actually, and we are not very far away from that, we become the perfect, glorious, androgynous being, as it is called in the tantric tradition, which is basically the state just before enlightenment. So it's even considered a necessity to awaken fully the feminine and the masculine within in order to create this amazing state of balance within ourselves. Now, the trouble with this is that we tend to think with our limited minds that reaching a glorious androgynous state is certainly solved by being sort of manly and sort of womanly. And then we get some sort of mix and it's done. But actually, this state that is talked about is much rather when you come to a realization that you are the entire universe, with everything that is feminine and masculine within it. If you don't want to take these 2 words because maybe they are charged for you, you could say everything that is yin, everything that is yang within it, everything that is energy within this universe, everything that is consciousness within this universe. When that is fully, fully, fully awakened within, with all its archetypes, with all its nuances, then we reach this androgynous state. Now the thing is, and it's nice that you asked this because it gives us an opportunity to underline once more that erotic tantrism is not so much meant for anything else but enlightenment. And the path to that is to say, well, here we have a woman who has a very specific lesson of femininity. She is by far not just feminine, but she has a specific lesson of the feminine. She is born with a womb. She can potentially at least make a child, which creates a whole hormonal configuration, a whole lot of stuff inside that is, let's say, signifying a specific lesson within this life. Whereas this gentleman over here is born with a male body, carrying therefore a very specific lesson of the masculine within. And then these 2 people are sent off to intensify their resonance with the specific pole that they manifest outwardly. They don't lose in the process their masculine parts as a woman or their feminine parts as a man, but rather they focus to become a very, very intense pole of one of the particular elements, which then will even stimulate the arising of the opposite element within as well. And then they meet in the bedroom and they become one. Exactly as Tantrism sees it, is what is happening at a cosmic level. The yin and the yang building that beautiful, symbol that we have of the white bubble flowing to the black bubble, and then a little white dot is born, and then it comes back into the white bubble and black dot is born. That game to happen as full as possible, the two would focus on the specific two poles in order to then come together. And in that way, realize deeply the glorious androgynous state. So this is the fullness of the mechanism of what is supposed to happen within the tantric lovemaking game. Thank you, Blandine, for addressing my concern about the black and white distinction. I really appreciate your clarification and incorporating the complexity of human nature. You're welcome, and we will keep doing this as much as possible to have the possibility to really use this wonderful concept of polarity, which is so wonderful in Tantra, that it is made very clear that we can play with masculine and feminine in a very helpful way that allows us to grow. But of course, when it is reduced to a stereotype or just to a biology, then that is sort of lost, which is it's a pity, because it's actually something that the world really needs, this understanding of the wonders of masculine and feminine, and that it's not needed to squeeze it into a rigid stereotype, but rather to live from an archetypal point. You can subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to receive notifications, and you can find a variety of lectures there and questions and answers. And also soon we wish to start more and more segments of answering to your questions, addressing aspects that you find relevant. So if you want to share with us what kind of subjects you find relevant, you can please write to us an email, Tantra Yoga Chiang Mai @gmail.com. I don't know where you're at, but I don't think that there are so many people in general who are able to create really truly such a depth of an ambience. It is more that we are used to open on a less deep level, and then we're like, yeah, okay, I just I do it with this one, and then usually a lot of effects come from that. May it be that the genitals get sick, or the heart gets broken or wounded in one way or another, or the experience is not as full. There are some people who are very able to create wonderful processes with each other of such depth, and with many people around. And if that is so, please, whatever floats your boat. But I feel most people would rather overestimate themselves in regards to this. Yeah, advantage is the advantage is, of course, that you allow yourself to be open within your love, within your exchange with the universe. But the disadvantage is that many times most people are not very capable of manifesting the fullness of these principles with many partners. Some are, some are not. You can watch our lecture on our YouTube channel on open relationships. That will hopefully give you a bit more of an insight. It is a big subject. It has wonderful possibilities to it if you follow the principles and your trajectory is towards love and towards unifying with the divine, rather than having some interesting erotic lifestyle, if you know what I mean. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.